1990s. You guys know that in the last lecture of SST we discussed the first 7 or 8 questions of our first question paper. Now we will move on with 5 marks questions, right? So we discussed till the 8th question, difference between renewable and non-renewable resources. I hope you remember what we taught you, right? So before going to the 9th question, I would like to get you revised with this question. What is secularism? The principle of separation of the state from religious institution is secularism, right? Now let's go on the 9th question. A very important question. What were the objectives of Indian secularism? Indian secularism क्या करना चाहता था? किसके लिए aim कर रहा था? So the first point is that one religious community does not dominate other community, right? So what it means is that one community does not dominate the another. Hindus does not dominate the Muslims. Muslims does not further dominate the Sikhs. Sikhs does not dominate the Buddhists and Jains, right? That's what it means in practical life. One religious community does not dominate the other community. The second point is that some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि हिंदू रिलीजन के अंदर ही जो अलग अलग डिविजन्स होते हैं, उसके अलग अलग डिविजन्स के अलग अलग मेंबर्स होते हैं, तो उसके अंदर भी जो अपर वाला है वो छोटे वाले को डोमिनेट ना करे. Third point is that the state does not enforce any particular religion or nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. इसका मतलब है कि स्टेट, यहाँ पे स्टेट क्या है? द गवर्नमेंट डज नॉट एनफोर्स एनी पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन. कि मतलब स्टेट इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग एनी पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन. वो किसी उनके लिए हर रिलीजन एक समान है. नॉट टेक अवे द रिलीजियस फ्रीडम्स ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल. कि हर एक इंडिविजुअल को अपनी पसंद का रिलीजन फॉलो करने की पूरी फ्रीडम है. ही हैज ऑल द लिबर्टी. So the 10th question is, explain any 3 fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. So here it's written any 3, but as you know we learn a bit extra. We have written 6 constitutional rights, okay, or the fundamental rights. Why we have done six rights? Because they are all the 6 rights, so that each of them you can remember. 3 of them you can remember. You can write it in the question paper. Okay. So the first point is right to equality. Your first right is right to equality. So what right to equality says? It ensures equal rights for all citizens. The right to equality prohibits inequality based on caste, religion, place, birth, race or gender. It also ensures equality of opportunity in matters of public employment and prevents the state from discriminating against anyone in matters of unemployment on the grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, place of residence, or any of them. So right to equality is a very basic thing, but the answer should be written in an elaborated way. So what this means is that right to equality is giving equality to all the citizens. Same thing. Now you want to elaborate the answer. So how can you elaborate it? You can say it prohibits inequality. Equality तो कर रहा है, पर क्या prohibit कर रहा है? कि inequality prohibit कर रहा है. तो अनइक्वालिटी का मतलब क्या है? कास्ट, रिलीजन, प्लेस, बर्थ, रेस और जेंडर के बेसिस पर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करना. तो वो ये प्रोहिबिट कर रहा है. ओके, अब वो सेकंड चीज क्या कर रहा है, अपॉर्चुनिटी दे रहा है सबको कि सबके पास इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी है, राइट? कि मैन के पास कम अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं है, ना ही वुमेन के पास कम अपॉर्चुनिटी है, दोनों के पास इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी है पब्लिक एम्प्लॉयमेंट के बेसिस पर। कि डॉक्टर की जॉब दोनों को इक्वल बेसिस पर दी जाएगी, किसी के अंदर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं होगा। एंड इट प्रिवेंट स्टेट फ्रॉम डिस्क्रिमिनेटिंग, तो स्टेट मतलब गवर्नमेंट को प्रिवेंट करती है किसी और को डिस्क्रिमिनेट करने की ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द सेम व्हिच वी स्टडीड हियर। ओके, द सेकंड राइट इज राइट टू फ्रीडम। राइट टू फ्रीडम प्रोवाइड्स अस विद वेरियस राइट्स। तो right to freedom is one part which is divided into various branches: freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly without arms, freedom of movement throughout the territory of our country, freedom of association, freedom to practice any profession, freedom to reside in any part of the country. However, these rights have their restrictions. So it was written in a very easy language, but still we will discuss about it. Rights are freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, you have the freedom to say anything. You can express your feelings by saying it out. Okay, freedom of expression, you can express your views with all your freedom together. The next point is freedom of assembly without arms. This is a confusing point, right? Assembly without arms means assembling without arms and ammunitions. What are ammunitions? Some type of weapons. Okay, no violation. So what it means is freedom of assembly. You can assemble, gather people and protest against the state or any other thing which you don't like, which is basically the freedom of expression but without arms. So the next is freedom of movement throughout the country, the territory of the country. Okay, so this is so you can travel anywhere in our country, in your country. So freedom of association, you can form associations. Freedom to practice any profession, you can practice any profession or occupation. Freedom to reside in any part of country, you can reside in any part of the country. However, these rights have their restrictions. तो सबके अंदर, सारे rights के अंदर कुछ ना कुछ restrictions होती हैं. वो restrictions बहुत ज़्यादा detailed होती हैं, laws के अंदर follow हो जाएंगे. So third is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation condemns human trafficking, child labor. Child labor हो गया. So it is exploiting you, right? So राइट अभी हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन, अभी है राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. कोई एक्सप्लॉइट कर रहा है आपको तो आप उसके अगेंस्ट केस फाइल कर सकते हो. विदाउट वेजेस वर्क करवाना, कम वेजेस पे वर्क करवाना, चाइल्ड लेबर, राइट, अंडर 14 years old, ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग. ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग मीन्स सेलिंग ह्यूमन, फोर्स्ड लेबर, फोर्स करके काम करवाना. So these all things are punishable by law. But if it is for a public purpose like non-government association organization work, so then it also can be done without wages or less wage. Next is right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion guarantees religious freedom and ensures secular states in India. So what it means is religious freedom. Freedom of religion means religious freedom, guarantees religious freedom and ensures secular states in India. The constitution says that states should treat all religions equally. What it means is that, for example, what we have stereotype is that in Punjab everyone is a Sikh, right? In Punjab everyone is a Sikh. In say Madhya Pradesh everyone is a Hindu. That is a stereotype. But in Punjab, the state government, here state government is the government of the state, have to treat, if it is, even if it is a Sikh or even if it is a Hindu, they have to treat everyone equally. And same as well in Madhya Pradesh, they have to treat Hindus and Sikhs equally. And that's what it's written here, and impartially, and that no state has an official religion. Punjab has no official religion with Sikhs. Madhya Pradesh has no official religion with Hindus. It also guarantees all the people freedom of conscience and right to preach, practice and propagate any religion of their choice. People can divine their devotee with their choice. They can practice any religion, practice the traditionals, right? Without any problem. Right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies ensures citizens to go to Supreme Court of India to ask for enforcement or protection against violations of their fundamental laws. So whatever laws we studied here, so who is going to protect them in case someone violates your right to freedom? So what I mean is, if someone does not allow you to express yourself, so what you can do with it? You have that right to constitutional remedies, right? You can go and like request or give a plea to Supreme Court that my fundamental rights are violated and I want that they should be punished. Okay, so in case of any like award consideration as well as to the affected individual, so anyone who is affected by it, he or she gets something, right, compensation. So that's all it means. Just it's something extra knowledge. So you should just write that if any of your fundamental rights is violated, you can speak against it in the Supreme Court. The next is, who was Tipu Sultan and which battle he was defeated? What measures were adopted by him to infuriate the British? So here Tipu Sultan was a king. Okay, he was the ruler of the kingdom of Mysore. You can as well as read it. I will explain it in a brief. So he was a ruler of the kingdom of Mysore. So he was a kind of a rebel. Why he was a rebel? Because he, like all else the rulers, they were easily fooled by the British. Their territories were easily taken by the British. But Tipu Sultan was a clever one. He fought against the British. Now how he fought, that we will see. So he was a kingdom of Mysore and a pioneer of rocket artillery. He first used the rocket artillery. Tipu Sultan fought the British and defeated them in first and second Anglo-Mysore wars. You know what I mean here is, like, for example, even Robert Clive also fought war against Sirajuddaulah, but he was defeated somehow by getting help from Mir Jafar and all. They bribed him. But Tipu Sultan was very clever. So he was not defeated, and he defeated the Britishers in the first and second Anglo-Mysore. Anglo is the Britishers and Mysore wars. So the first point is, so what was the question? Our question was, what measures were adopted by him? Okay, so in the third Anglo-Mysore war, he was defeated. In the first and second, he defeated them. But in the third, he was defeated. So the measures which are taken were, after defeating the British, Tipu Sultan decided to turn the policies of the British against themselves. So what was the policies of British? They wanted to conquer the area so that they can expand their trade. so they can have financial profits. So as well as he did, he gathered large armed forces and under his command, which the British considered a threat to themselves. So he gathered large armed forces, and then his command with the British. So he commanded large armed forces. So the British were a little afraid by it, that he is doing very well. So third, he also invaded lots of surrounding areas and annexed them to his kingdom, which put a stop to the British expansion. Right, so he did that. He gathered large armed forces. And then what he did? He invaded and annexed the kingdoms around him. So that was the job of British to do. The British wanted to expand. But if Tipu Sultan was expanding, the land which was to be conquered by British was now of Tipu Sultan, right? And they were defeated. They were already defeated by Tipu Sultan 2 times, in the first Anglo-Mysore War and the second Anglo-Mysore War. So that infuriated the British. They were angered by it. So the last question of our today's assignment is explain the separation of power, why it is important in democracy. It is a very important question. This concept is very must to be understood, because it is gonna come again and again throughout your 8th standard. Separation of powers. Right, so separation of powers. What do you understand by separation of powers? This line. So phrase. This phrase means separating the power. Okay, separating the power. So who has the power? The government has all the power in the democracy. So the government is divided into legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay. Then the legislature refers to our elected representatives. तो जिनको भी हम elect करते हैं, so legislature is MLA, member of legislature assembly, legislative assembly. He is the MLA. They are the ones who we elect. Then the second group is the executive. They are the smaller groups of people who are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. So the laws which are implemented together by the legislature are to be implemented, right? They are to be implemented. So implementing laws means that a government is working smoothly. So the third point is, if someone violates that thing, if someone does not follows, what is to be done? He has to be punished. So punishment is given in the judiciary. So it is a system of court to prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of the constituted government. What it means is that it is okay that if someone violates, but also if one of the branches, executive violates, who will take care? That job is also done by the judiciary. So the constitution says that each organ should exercise different powers. No one should, right? They should not. So the executive should not take the powers of the judiciary. Judiciary should not get the powers of the executive. So this will maintain the separation of powers. Each organ acts as a check on the other organ. So like one of them keeps check on the other. So then what is? There is concentration of power. There is, right, whenever there is concentration, कि ऐसा कभी कभी हो जाता है कि सारी पावर ही जुडिशरी के पास आ जाती है. That we don't want to be, right? So what, like if everything, each and every power has come to judiciary, it results into corruption, the maladministration, the nepotism. Nepotism is supporting your ones, your friends, and abuse of power, the wrong use of power. This ensures that autocracy is like judiciary, only judiciary is running the whole country. So it does not creep into the constitutional system. It protects citizens from arbitrary rule. Arbitrary rule is forced rule kind of. Okay. Hence, the importance of separation of power doctrine can be summed up as follows. Keeps away autocracy, we discussed it. Safeguards individual liberty. Liberty is freedom. Okay, everyone has the freedom. Third, helps create an efficient administration. Judiciary's independence is maintained. Prevents the legislature from enacting arbitrary and unconstitutional laws. So it prevents from legislature to have some unconstitutional laws which are very difficult to be followed. Okay, so judiciary's independence is maintained. The judiciary is independent. So here our first question paper discussion is over. Right, now we will further discuss the map work of the important things in the first unit test. So here it is done. You can download the PDF as well as the video on our website beingscholars.com. So bye mentees, take care of yourself. Thanks.